Well, hello and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing well this Saturday afternoon. My name is Debbie, and this is Single Living with Hope, also known as Simply on Reserve. You guys, I named it that because I am on reserve until the Lord brings me my future companion, my partner, and I want it to be orchestrated by Him, by God Himself, that He would be glorified in my relationship that is to come. There's no doubt that I know it's coming, okay? It's just a matter of time, and that's God's time, not mine. So stick around till the end. Today's topic is relationships, and we all encounter that in one point or another. And before I get any further, I feel like there's someone on here watching that you were just in a relationship and the relationship ended because you weren't healed yet. Okay, so my suggestion to you is we have to heal ourselves, you guys. We have to heal ourselves before we get in any other relationship, because not only are you going to hurt yourself, but you're going to hurt the new person that you're in a relationship with. We sometimes, we may not be in love with that past relationship anymore, but because of the trauma, the betrayal, the mistrust, it could have been abuse, I don't know. You carry that as a guard. You have a wall up and a guard, and there's mistrust issues. And quite honestly, I think a lot of women, we feel that way. We feel insecure about ourselves, or we think, oh, they're gonna cheat on me, or whatever it may be, or vice versa. It might be the man feeling this way about his past woman. I'm not sure, okay? Works vice versa. So women can be just as bad as men nowadays, if we're being honest, right? I mean, it's just a crazy world out there. And it's hard to find that right person. And that's why I want God to be the one to orchestrate mine. So with that being said, I want to go back to saying, if that's you that has been hurt, work on healing yourself importantly, because what happens is when we're in a relationship that was abusive or hurtful, maybe they made you feel like you were less than and you were not worthy, you had no say, and you start thinking of yourself as worthless. Okay, the first thing I'm going to suggest and tell you is you should never have to apologize. This is male or female. You should never have to apologize for knowing your worth. Okay, because when you know your worth, watch out, you guys. Some people feel intimidated. Some people feel intimidated with me knowing my worth, and maybe that's why they stay away. I don't know. I probably scare them away. I'm like, oops, sorry. But I have learned so much in my singleness, and that's the thing, is that I have been healing. And I am perfectly 100% okay with being single. I have learned so much about myself in this time frame. I mean, I am me, myself, and I all the time. So you know what? It's like you're getting to re-know yourself. So there could be also a relationship where maybe you were in it for a very long time, whether it had been 6, 10, 20 something years. And there was adultery, or they left you for somebody else pretty much, and you were left with a heart left in shambles and trying to recuperate from that, right? And so you're like, how do I heal from this? Because we start to get stuck, because say like you had a really good relationship with this individual, so you were left kind of boggled thinking, well, why did they leave me, or why did they have this affair when I thought everything was fine? I thought we were perfectly fine. Okay. So when that happens, and then you start thinking of yourself like, well, what did I do, or how do I heal from this? And you don't know what to do or how to move forward, because you are just broken. And so a lot of times we tend to hold on what was, okay? And we still think on what could be. Now, I'm not saying that God can't restore relationships and heal them. I see it all the time. And one of my dear friends, the Lord did that for her. And that was her prayer. And God has been using them. And so it encourages me. So God is able, you guys. He is. But if this individual has moved on, remarried, had babies with this individual, and you're still left thinking, I'm going to hold on because he or she may come back. You know, if that is the case, God will either restore before, and he may do it after, but you can't be waiting, moping around. You got to get yourself up. Don't stop living your life because you're waiting on them. Okay, you don't have to get into another relationship, and I strongly encourage you not to, because you have to heal. But don't stop living. Don't stop living like, oh man, who were you before you even met this person, you guys? Who were you before you met this person? Oh, I don't know. You know, it's like, we think that we can only survive if we're with this individual because, um, they're the umbilical cord. I mean, you just like a leech, you hold on to them thinking that this is your only way and hope in life. And that is not the case, you guys. Sometimes God removes certain individuals, one, because he knows that it's going to cause pain and heartache in the future, and because he's trying to get our attention. One pastor one time said, he said, faith that can't be tested is faith that can't be trusted. And, we might be a Christian and we think, well, why am I going through all this? Sometimes he tests us to see where our love is, if it's going to remain in the midst of that heartbreak, of that heartache, and trust that he's going to heal you to get to the other side. Just like he told his disciples when he crossed over in the boat, he said, let us go to the other side. He didn't say, even though there was a storm or something coming, he didn't say, I think we can get to the other side, you guys, and it could be a possibility we might fall off on the way. I don't know. But he said, let us get to the other side. And they did. Okay. So if he is controlling the ship, if he's controlling the vehicle, you're going to get to the destination that he has intended for you. So whoever is for you will stay and remain. Whoever is not, he's going to purge out of your life. Okay. Maybe that individual needs some molding and maturing in the middle, of all this. And more so, sometimes just even ourselves need healing and changing and, little trimming here and there and prickling. And you're just like, ow, ow, that hurts, Lord. None of us like to go through heartache. Okay. I did not enjoy any of it, but you start to learn to embrace it because it's reality. And when you start to accept what is, then God can start doing the now, start living the now, you guys. Don't stop living that, because what happens is those individuals that have left you, they have control over you, whether you think they do or not. They have control and they are living their life perfectly fine. And we're not on their mind. Like I wasn't on my ex's mind or whatever. And so I had to learn to move on. You can move on. Like I said, you don't have to move on into another relationship and rush to be, hurt again. Work on yourself. And when that time comes, whether it's that individual God brings back or a new relationship, in my case, I genuinely 100% believe it's going to be someone new. And I know that for a fact. So, I don't know. I mean, it might be someone I used to go to high school with, or someone, I don't know. I'm just leaving that in his hands. He knows my heart's desire. And you guys, if you're going through pain and just the ringer, I am so sorry, because I've been there, and you're like, easier said than done, lady. Like, I'm in pain and this hurts. And I know that. But the longer you hold on to that pain instead of releasing it to the Lord, it's okay to cry. Guys, I became a marshmallow like you would not believe. I was just so squishy. So like, you just squeeze me and I start crying. And it was a healing, because my sister once said years ago, she may not remember, but she said, I believe it's so beautiful how the Lord gives us tears to release our pain and our heartache, and gives us laughter for joy, and he's just so good, you guys. And release it to him, because the burden's going to get heavy. Okay. If it hasn't been heavy already and you haven't recognized it, it's going to get heavy, and allow him to lighten that load for you. Cast your burdens upon him, he says. I have so many scriptures. I'm going to actually put them in the well, there's a few, but basically it's the book of Psalm, you guys, because the Psalm had so much for me that I just kept reading and reading that would constantly encourage and strengthen me during that season that was very hard for me. I got to a place where I went through an interview and I butchered that like you would not believe. I mean, nothing was coming to me. I felt very dumb. I'm going to just be honest. I felt so dumb because nothing, it's like, do you want this job, lady? I mean, I could not function. I was so broken and so devastated that it was like I could not think straight, like, yet alone, like, I had to go back to even my notes on how to do my job. And then I knew that something was wrong because I'm just like, Debbie, what comes natural to you? Like, why are you, I just felt like a dingbat. Like, I didn't care about anything. I didn't know how to pick myself up from the pit that I was in, from the hurt. So I know exactly that pain, you guys. And so my only suggestion to you is to turn to God and allow him to carry you through this season. Sometimes he allows those things, like I said, to happen so that we can look up, because otherwise we never do. And because he cares for you and he's concerned for your salvation, he's going to permit these things to enter your life until you surrender and say, I can't anymore. And when you finally say that, he's going to say, thank you. Finally, I can start doing a work in your life, So read Psalm 141, 1 through 3. I'm going to put them in the description. But they're very good. But I'm going to read one to you here, and it's in Psalm 145, verse 18 and 19. It says, the Lord is near to all who call upon him, to all who call upon him in truth. Like when you have that desperate cry and you're really wanting his help. He will fulfill the desires of those who fear him. He also will hear their cry and save them. Okay? The Lord preserves all who love him, but the wicked he will destroy. Ooh, we don't want to hear that part. Okay, we'll read that later. Anyway, but there's a lot of meat here to digest, you guys, and the Word of God about the whole book of Psalm, like I'm telling you, is wonderful for when you're going through a heartbreak and thinking, how am I going to get through this? Most importantly, I want to tell you, please know your worth, that you are worthy of love. There is someone out there just for you that's going to love you for you, okay? But don't be so worried about not having someone. Just be content in who you are and learn, most of all, to love yourself. Not be in love with yourself like, oh, ooh, but love yourself as an individual, before you can love anybody else, because that's the most important, what's in here. Okay, so I hope that something I said here encouraged you today. Keep pressing forward, keep moving forward, and God will direct and guide your path, okay, as long as you look to him. So I love you guys. God bless you. And if you like anything that was said today, just feel free to like and subscribe. Until next time, you guys, I wish you all well. Enjoy your weekend, and remember, don't stop living for anybody. Live for yourself and for the Lord, of course.